Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing fine. Welcome back to another session. Today we are going to discuss 7th poem from grade 6 CBSE, and the name of the poem is Vocation. It's by Rabindranath Tagore. So this poem talks about what a kid wants. When we are, I'm sure when we were of your age, we all wanted to do a job. We all wanted to be free in life and not study. So like any other kid would get attracted to any occupation, to any kind of a job profile and associate their life with that. So that's the innocence of being a kid. So that is what is being explained in this poem. We find ourselves having that curiosity, that attraction towards other people and their life, but we don't really know what they go through. So we don't have any knowledge of what the job demands. So let's see what Rabindranath tells us about vocation, about a job, and how a kid feels in this poem. When the gong sounds 10 in the morning, and I walk to school by our lane, every day I meet the hawker crying, "Bangles! Crystal bangles!" So crystal is something like you guys can see here. It's a jewel that looks clear and transparent. Okay. And hawker, you can say he's a vendor. Now what's a gong? Gong is, guys, it's an object which you hit to make some sound. Okay? An object of metal used to make some sound, which gives sound effect. So now here the kid is explaining that when he's on his way to school and it's daytime, the sun is up, it's 10 a.m., 10 in the morning. He says that at that time, I watch a salesman, a hawker, a vendor shouting, "Bangles, crystal bangles." He's making people aware of his presence and trying to sell the bangles by making loud noises, by calling out what he has to sell. So gong sound means when the clock sounds 10, when the clock makes a sound of and declares that it's 10 o'clock, that sound. Okay? There is nothing to hurry him on, and there is no road he must take, no place he must go to, no time when he must come home. I wish I were a hawker, spending my day in the road crying, "Bangles, crystal bangles." Now, when he looks at the hawker, the kid feels that the vendor is having enough freedom to do anything throughout the day. He is not in a rush. There's no hurry for him to reach the school, as I try to reach the school on time. And he has no time to reach home back. It's okay. He's here to sell bangles. There are no restrictions, no time constraints, no boundaries. He's free to move here, there, anywhere. There's nobody who's making him work like this. He's free. He's not under any observation. He enjoys his freedom. And the kid feels that I'm imprisoned. I wish I was a hawker. I wished I enjoyed his life. I wish I had that freedom. I wish I could move freely, and not be bound by the time limitation of reaching home on time, by the restrictions that my parents have imposed. And throughout the day, it would be an easy task to shout, just like he does in the streets, "Bangles, crystal bangles." When at 4 in the afternoon I come back from school, I can see through the gate of that house the gardener digging the ground. Digging means he is breaking up the soil. So he says, when I'm back home from the school and the school is over in the afternoon at 4 p.m., there's this house right in front of the school and I see there's a gardener working. And I see the gardener, I observe the gardener through the gate of the house. And when I see what the gardener is doing, when I observe him, he's sitting and digging the ground. He does what he likes with his spade. He soils. Spade is a sharp, edged tool. Like you can see him carrying this like this. He does what he likes with his spade. He soils his clothes with dust. Nobody takes him to task if he gets baked in the sun or gets wet. Gets baked means heated. I wish I were a gardener digging away at the garden with nobody to stop me from digging. Now the kid is attracted towards the freedom that the gardener has. He wants to be as free as the gardener and wants to enjoy the dust, want to play with the tools that the gardener is making use of. He thinks that the gardener has the freedom to get dirty, to dirty his clothes with the soil, allowed to play with his sharp tools. He's allowed to stay in the sun, get heated up, even for longer hours. Allowed to have the sweat, do anything that he likes. And nobody is going to penalize or punish him. But if I would have done the same, I would definitely have been punished for all this. But this kid who wants to dig the soil and doesn't want to be stopped by anyone is completely unaware of the things, of the worldly reality. You enjoy your life when you are a kid. You have no responsibilities whatsoever. You never know what your parents go through. There's a lot of pressure on them at times. Let's see what's next. Just as it gets dark in the evening and my mother sends me to bed, I can see through my open window the watchman walking up and down. Walking up and down means move back and forth like this. Now here, definitely I'll continue. The lane is dark and lonely and the street lamp stands like a giant with one red eye in its head. Giant here means Superman or superhuman. So let me explain what the poet has to say here. Now he says that at night when the kid is made to sleep, when he's in his room, in his bed, he used to observe outside, people, things through his window. So from there he came to know that there's a watchman who's walking free here and there across the street from one end to the other end in the dark. So the watchman is walking freely in the dark on the street, the lonely street. He's got a lamp in his hand which looks like a superhuman with a red eye in its head. So that's how the impression is of the watchman. He's huge with that lamp. One looks huge. The watchman swings. Swings means moves here and there with his lantern, which is a lamp, and walks with the shadow at his side, and never once goes to bed in his life. I wish I were a watchman, walking the street all night, chasing, running after, chasing the shadows with my lantern. So here the child is so attracted to the watchman, that watchman who's moving across the street at night, holding a lamp, and is free to move anywhere. He has a shadow right next to him. And the kid thinks that this watchman never goes to bed in his life. He's awake all through his life because, his favorite job during the night hours. And that's what we think as kids. So he wished to be a watchman who could walk all nights in the streets, be free. And he believes that if he gets a chance to be a watchman, he would be running after his shadow with a lantern, with a lamp in his hand. So first of all, we learned that he wants to be a vendor who sells the bangles. Then he wants to be a gardener and spoil his clothes in the soil. Then he wants to be a watchman. So I'm sure you might want to be someone in your life. Do let me know what you wish to become. So that's all for the day. In case you liked it, please like, share and subscribe.